1 in 4 women
1 in 13 men
are physically and/or sexually assaulted
by an intimate partner
sometime in their life.
1 in 9 Indiana high school students
report being physically abused by their dating partner.
The Domestic Violence Network has been leading the charge in creating a response to domestic violence in Central Indiana since 2000.
I think Domestic Violence Network of Greater Indianapolis makes a difference and improves the health of the community. We can't have a healthy community unless we eliminate domestic violence.
The Domestic Violence Network is absolutely crucial in our community. It is the connective tissue that really holds this body together, this effort to reduce domestic violence within our community.
We bring together individuals and businesses and organizations to implement policies and procedures and systems that improve our response as a community to domestic violence.
The Domestic Violence Network has really moved this community forward, even within the last couple of years, with its efforts to bring an end to domestic violence.
The Domestic Violence Network facilitates the community-wide plan. We connect the dots, help connect the dots, and bring interested stakeholders together. And we provide a service to the community of looking at the issue of domestic and family violence and evaluating that in relationship to what's going on in our community and what resources we have in our community to devote to the issue of domestic violence.
The Domestic Violence Network's Power of Images project uses pictures to tell us a story of lives lost to domestic abuse, and a story of a community braced to change its future by working together to end this violence.
The significance of the project for our community is to raise awareness that domestic violence is something that touches everyone.
The Power of Images project is one of the most important initiatives that has ever been developed through the Domestic Violence Network.
As a sponsor of the Power of Images project, Community Health Network is committed to raising awareness about domestic abuse. The impact of this violence is something they know about firsthand.
One of our nurses on the floor was murdered by her estranged husband. He took a gun to the work setting and endangered patients, families, and staff. He did murder his wife and injured himself. And so that's how Community Health Network found itself in the middle of what is now a very committed issue for us, which is domestic violence.
Power of Images is a way to honor men and women who have lost their lives as victims of domestic abuse.
Each of the people represented on that banner are people who will not be able to have children, will not be able to hug their children again, will not be able to be productive members of society, will no longer be able to be a daughter, will no longer be an employee, will no longer own a business, will no longer become a doctor. Much of the future of our community died along with the people who are represented on this banner.
What a profound loss in our community of people who have the joy of living and it's taken away from them. It's sad, it's wrong, and it's something that we have got to do something about, and we can.
Skip was a fun-loving, jovial person, and he was a sweetheart.
Kelly was just a fun, outgoing, just a lovely person inside and out.
Michelle was amazing. She was vibrant. She was independent, very strong, very passionate. She was just an amazing, amazing individual.
One day she could be as tenacious as a bulldog, and the next day she would be giving her friends her last dime.
Well, she was always trying to help somebody. Her children was the most important thing in her life. She's a beautiful mom.
Kent was a great guy, caring, loving.
Heather was the type of person that would love a good joke, was always laughing.
I miss Skip's smile.
Her laugh and her smile, it just could light up a room.
What I miss most about Susan is just her phone calls, being there with all of the excitement. I mean, she was always full of excitement.
I just miss everything about her.
Miss him immensely, and it's just not fair.
It takes everything we got every day to just get up and put one foot in front of the other and try to carry on with our lives without our child.
And Heather walked into the living room one day and she said that, Mom, I believe I was put on this earth to help people. To go to the State House and have the governor do a ceremonial signing, to sign into law named after your daughter, is indescribable. Heather will live on forever. Heather's Law is going to take education into the schools about how teen violence, dating violence, domestic violence doesn't happen to adults. I could feel Heather with me. I believe that Heather was just sitting there smiling and telling me, thank you, Mom.
The power of images is that it drives home right now in our community the reality of domestic violence.
It is time for everyone in our community to take action and ownership of this issue and determine what each of us can do in our own lives, in our daily lives, to confront and combat domestic violence. The Domestic Violence Network is the solution to reducing domestic violence in our community. Contacting the Domestic Violence Network today is the beginning of ending domestic abuse in our society. That is why people should support the Domestic Violence Network.
If you or someone you know needs assistance for domestic abuse, help is available. In Central Indiana, call 211 or area code 317-926-4357. To find out more about the Domestic Violence Network or the Power of Images Project, call DVN at 317-872-1086 or visit the website at www.dvnconnect.org.